Hey, are you afraid of singing in front of people? Or if I got you to sing in front of public, you would freeze, you would tense, you'll get super, super nervous. If that is you, in today's episode, we're going to be tackling how exactly do we overcome the fear of singing in front of people. And in fact, I'm going to be sharing three very simple ideas to help you get started with this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Singing Simply Show. My name is Ivan, and on this show, we aim to demystify learning to sing and make it as easy and as simple as possible for you. Because, let's face it, learning to sing can feel confusing, it can be tricky, especially when you're trying to do things on your own. And so, I wanted to create this resource for all of you out there. And so, today's question, right? Actually came from a listener of this podcast. And so, if you are interested in inspiring the next episode, leave a question below or contact me via Instagram. I'm going to drop the links into the description below. You can actually leave it directly here on Spotify or the platform that you're listening to, or you can check me out on Instagram and just say hi there. And this was from a listener, Frida Free Spirit. So hopefully I pronounced your name, and thank you for this question. And it was, how do we overcome the fear of singing in public? And this is such a great question because, regardless of your experience level, right? A lot of us do have this fear of this or this anxiety or this feeling, right? When it comes to singing in front of others. And so whether you have got a bit of experience under your belt or you're just completely starting off, this is something you really want to be listening into. And in fact, for me, this is something that I'm constantly revisiting and finding ways to overcome again and again and again. And so without further ado, let's jump straight into the three ideas or the three tips to help you move past this. And so number one, right? How do we overcome the fear of singing in public? One of the easiest ways is double check your breathing. And I just hopped off one of our group classes, one of our summer group classes, which is a class I do for my clients every single week. And one of the shares or one of the takeaways was, as the student was singing for someone else, was singing, this is one of the activities we do in our classes, she noticed that her nerves, made her breathe a lot quicker. Right? Her nerves made her breathe a lot quicker. And, sometimes she didn't even need that air. She didn't even need the air, but she would notice she would breathe in a lot more. And one of the things I mentioned there is check your breathing. It's okay to feel the fear, it's okay to feel the nerves, but the reason why it often, changes or affects the way we sing is because it affects our breathing. Often you'll notice our breathing goes, it'll start getting quicker, or we might take really shallow breaths. And so if we can tackle the breathing, right, getting a nice expansion in the breath, and then slowly exhaling, and almost like, if some of you guys have done meditation, it's a bit like the breathing that you take in a nice, good breath, probably a bit quicker than meditation, but you slowly release that. Right? What that does is it can keep your nerves or your fear at check. And there's a lot of science behind this. Part of it is allowing you to stay in your parasympathetic system, right? Versus being in, the flight or flight response, right? When you get your breathing checked in, right, it keeps that nerves or that fear of singing in public at bay. And so if you can think of it like this, right, when you're singing, just making sure you're getting a good breath in. And as you're singing the words or holding out the phrase, you want to focus on delaying and basically keeping good support of your singing, delaying that release of air as much as possible. And what you'll notice by just focusing on the breathing, that will help you overcome a bit of that fear. You won't be thinking about it as much. And overall, you'll probably feel a bit more relaxed. And you'll notice a lot of singers, they'll often focus on their breathing for this particular reason. When they focus on their breathing, a lot of the other pieces of the puzzles fall into place anyway. Now, so that's tip number one. This is a bit of a tactical one, right? Really easy way to get you started. Just check your breathing, making sure that it doesn't go too quickly, making sure you're not releasing air too much. All of those things can make it feel more like that. Now, tip number two. Tip number two is all about preparation. And the reason why I think this is such an important tip is think of it like this. A lot of you here have done exams, school exams, you've done them before, or maybe you're going through some exams at the moment. And compare these two scenarios. Number one, you are cramming. You're cramming and, you literally study the night before. You might have actually pulled it and you pulled an all-nighter. Now, that's situation number one. Now, situation number two is, you're a bit more studious, a bit more on top of your game this time around, and you've been studying, you've been putting time aside to study each and every single week, and you've given yourself time to study before this exam. When you walk into that exam room, when you're about to sit down for the exam, when would you feel more calm? When would you feel more at peace? When would you feel, maybe a lack of nerves, right? It's probably going to be the second one when you've done the work, you've prepared. And the same idea can be applied to singing. And I've had countless students, countless clients of mine say this, right? Because one of the things we do with our students is we do an open mic every 9 weeks. We do an open mic just to celebrate and, bring our singing together. And one of the things that they've often said is, I'm so glad I prepared for this. I'm so glad I prepared for this because here's what I know. When you prepare, when you do the work, you often fall back to the level of your practice, even if you feel nervous. Because you've trained it in, you've built in the muscle memory, learning the lyrics, learning the melody, right? Being able to sing through the song a couple of times, being able to maybe even practice at different keys. And so this is why it's super, super important to prepare. So then even if you're feeling nervous, even if you're not feeling at your A game, you've got a really high level of standard to fall back to. So if you are feeling nervous at the moment, if you've got a performance coming up and you're not sure if you're going to rock out right, don't worry about that. Focus on what you can do at this very moment. Put in the work now so then on during the day or during the performance, right, you won't let the nerves get the better of you. So that's tip number 2. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure you're prepared. Now, tip number 3 is action always precedes clarity. Action always precedes clarity. And you might be wondering, why is Ivan giving me this kind of motivational thing when we're talking about fear of singing in public? Now, the reason why I'm sharing this quote is a lot of us are thinking of all these solutions, thinking of all these different things. And yes, we have some ideas, check your breathing, being prepared, these kind of things that I'm sharing with you to help you tackle that fear of singing. But the thing that's ultimately going to help you to overcome that fear of singing in public is singing in public. Just do it again and again and again. Even if it doesn't go well that first time, just do it again and again and again. And the reason why I know this is true is, a couple of years back, I was busking and then, I started growing this coaching business, started getting clients, and I put the busking and the performing on the side. I paused for a bit and I decided to focus on getting more people, started working with more people, more students. And a couple of months back, I was like, hey, I got to get back into busking. I just love performing. I love putting myself out there. And it's such a challenge for me as well. And so I decided to get back into busking. Now, guess what? After not having done it for some time, leading up to that first performance, I was scared. I was scared as heck. I was nervous as heck. Even though I've done it before, right? I was nervous as heck. But what I knew had to be done is you just got to do it. You just got to do it that first time because guess what happened? When I went and I did that first performance, yes, the first song was a bit, your heart's going to racing and you're feeling a bit nervous. But then the second song comes around and you feel a lot easier. You've done it. You're already in it. Then the third song comes along, right? And you feel better already. So even within that performance, just by doing it, that helped me overcome a lot of the fear. Now, the second part is I then did it again the week afterwards. I booked in a session again for the week afterwards. And that got even easier. And then I booked in a session again after that. And that got even easier. And each time went back to the busking venue, it just got easier and easier again to sing in front of people. There's less nerves, there's less overthinking. There was like, what are they thinking of me? But rather, I just did it. And this is the power of action precedes clarity, right? Despite what you might be feeling, what you might be thinking, just do the thing that you need to do first. And that is going to help you overcome things a lot quicker. And in fact, one of the things I get a lot of my clients to start off with is do little baby challenges. Basically, little things that challenge you and put yourself outside of your comfort zone. Maybe it's singing for your friend. Maybe it's recording a clip of yourself and sending it to that one person, right? All these little baby challenges, they are ideas of action precedes clarity. Because when you do that, that helps you build your confidence, helps you overcome that fear of singing in public. So now that I've shared these 3 ideas, check your breathing, be prepared, right? And, action precedes clarity. Just do it. Take some actions. Maybe it's starting with these baby challenges, right? The thing I want to ask you is, what are you actually going to do now? What are you actually going to go execute? I'm a big fan, as you know, for those of you who work with me, I'm a guy who loves taking action because I think action is just so important. So which one of these 3 ideas can you execute? Just choose one. Just choose one. Maybe it's for your next performance, check your breathing. Or maybe it's like, hey, I think I need to sing through this song 5 times in a row, right? Or maybe it is, I actually have to just go out and busk. Or maybe I have to go out and perform. Maybe I have to go sign up for that performance. Maybe this week. Maybe go to this open mic. Maybe I just got to record something and send it to my friends and family. whatever it might be, I want you to take one action. Just even write it down right now. When you write it down, you're more likely to do it. So you write down that action that you're going to do and when you're going to do it. And I would love for you to action it. And, if anything, I love seeing you guys take action from these podcast episodes and tag me on Instagram. And if you've got any questions, check me out on Instagram at Sing with Ivan. I'd love to connect with you there and just get to know you all a bit more. But if you've taken action on this and you want to share, tag me as well. Like send me a little, maybe a photo or a clip, tag me there, and I'd love to see it as well. So apart from that, team, remember, you are not your limitations, and I'll see you all for the next episode. Take care.